We've been playing badminton for the last 20 years now and professionally for the last 8. And during this time, we've made lots of progress, but we've also made lots of mistakes. So in this video, we want to share 7 of the biggest mistakes we've made and give you some simple tips to help you avoid these mistakes in your own badminton journey. Number 1 is having fun.
Having fun is so important for many reasons. It boosts your motivation and energy levels. It increases your endorphins, which reduces stress and helps you deal with nerves, and just generally helps you to live a more happy and fulfilled life. You see quotes like, "I don't train because I like training, I train because I like winning," which suggests it's okay to not enjoy training because it's only the winning that matters. But we would argue against this and say it's not just the destination that matters, it's also the journey.
Exactly. In the past, we've been so determined and desperate to win that we forgot to have any fun, and this often led us to play worse.
Now, of course, not every part of your badminton training will be fun, especially if you want to be the best player you can be. But if you can shape your environment so you're surrounded with people who you enjoy playing with and you add fun elements into your sessions, then not only will you enjoy the journey more, but you'll also be more likely to be successful.
An example of this is current Olympic champion Victor Axelsen, who attributes a lot of his success to having fun, especially when he was young, as he says this helped him to develop the different skills and shots that he still uses today. We were training alongside him last week and he started his session with some fun games, so we can definitely say that he still has fun. Okay, the second thing we wish we knew earlier is the importance of training smart. There's been so many times where we felt like we've had to stick to our training schedule at all costs. And often we've just been trying to survive in sessions rather than thrive. The biggest consequence of this was the countless injuries that we got as a result.
Another important lesson we've learned about training smart is that 1 hour of high intensity, high quality and purposeful practice can be much more beneficial than, say, 3 hours of brainless multi-feed or physical routines. For example, you'd improve much faster if you hit 100 lifts focusing on your technique and movement and playing 95% of these with good accuracy, rather than doing 1,000 lifts without moving or thinking much and only hitting 50% of these with good accuracy. This quote sums it up perfectly. Practice doesn't make perfect, only perfect practice makes perfect.
We're not saying here that you can be a world-class badminton player by just doing 3 hours of great training a week. And we're not saying that we don't believe in multi-feed or hard physical routines. We definitely do. In fact, we have 27 multi-feed programs on our website that we do regularly. It's just about being smart with the volume and content of your training. If you find yourself going through the motions and not training with a purpose, or you feel like your body is on the edge of breaking, then maybe consider doing something else which will still benefit your game, like match analysis or technical practice, which is our third area we definitely didn't work on enough when we were younger.
As many of you will know, the longer you play, the harder it is to change your technique. When you're first starting out, it's so easy to make the mistake of just wanting to play matches and do the fun routines. But we've learned that your technical ability will hugely determine how good you can be as a badminton player. So we definitely recommend placing less importance on winning at first and really focusing on your technique and footwork.
Yeah, and having this as a focus will likely lead to you winning more matches in the long run. So keep that in mind. But what if you've already been playing for years, we hear you ask?
Well, luckily, despite it being difficult, technical areas can be changed. We've worked with lots of people who've successfully managed to change their technique and become much better badminton players as a result. Those guys just wish they'd set more goals around developing their technique earlier on in their careers, and so do we.
And finally, it's important to mention that one technical session isn't going to just change your technique. It will take patience and a lot of practice over time, but we promise it'll be worth it. Another great quote is, "Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong." So we're big believers in setting goals, but putting too much pressure on ourselves to achieve our goals is probably the biggest mistake we've made in our badminton careers so far.
Yeah, whether that was chasing world ranking points, winning a certain level of tournament, or getting to that next round to earn more prize money. We've had so many times where winning one more match would mean $500 more in prize money, which would mean that covered the cost of the next tournament. We put so much pressure on ourselves to achieve these things that for a period we stopped having fun and focused purely on the destination rather than the journey. Recently, we've completely moved away from outcome goals, like reaching the top 20 in the world, and focused on the process goals, like enjoying our training and always putting in 100% effort. So even if we don't end up reaching the top 20 in the world, we'll still be satisfied with our performances.
And this is something that we'd recommend to everyone. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to achieve your goals. Focus on the process and enjoying this process. There's so much we want to share about goal setting and how to deal with pressure, but that's a whole video in itself. Mistake number 5 is not being consistent. And here, we're not talking about all of the smashes we've missed, or all of the serves we've hit into the net, although there's definitely been a lot of those in the last 20 years. What we're talking about is not being consistent in our daily habits that will help improve our badminton. This might be doing regular technical practice like we mentioned earlier, or getting your nutrition and sleep right. We didn't realise just how important it is to be consistent in all of these external areas until we read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. After reading this book, we started doing a lot of research into habit building and habit stacking, which is when we came across a couple of great classes on Skillshare, who, as it happens, are kindly sponsoring this video.
Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes. And if, like us, you're interested in becoming a better badminton player, then we have 2 classes on Skillshare that we want to recommend to you. The first is Principles and Tools to Boost Your Productivity by Ali Abdaal, where he talks about the power of habits.
If you think about kind of compound interest and compounding gains, if you can improve by 1% every day for a year, at the end of the year, you will be 37 times better than you were at the start.
And the second class is Building Habits That Last by Thomas Frank. We recently recommended this on the channel, but it was so good that we want to recommend it again in case any of you missed it. We've also recommended this class to so many of our friends who want to build better habits, whether that's for badminton, studying, or even dieting.
So if you want to watch either of these classes or any of the thousands of others on Skillshare, then click the top link in the description below, and the first 1,000 people will get a free 1-month trial. And by joining through our link, it really helps to support our channel, so thank you in advance. And thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
Okay, so our 6th mistake that we've made throughout our badminton careers is not trying enough to play with people who are better than us.
Now, we know this might be easier said than done, and lots of people are scared to even put themselves in this position. We definitely were. But just doing this once a week can help you improve so much.
Yeah, shots come back that you don't normally expect to, and you're under way more pressure than usual. This is something we always try to replicate in our training, as there really is nothing better to help you improve than being pushed out of your comfort zone in this way.
Now, some of you might be sat there thinking, well, I'm the best in my club or area, so what should I do?
Well, there's always something you can do. In sessions where we've been the strongest players in the group, we might lift half court to put ourselves under more pressure, or we might play against 3 players rather than 2. This goes back to training smart, and in this situation, it's about adapting your training to put yourself under more pressure.
We've watched a lot of badminton over the years, and I mean a lot. But when we were younger, we could have watched with more of an analytical mindset. Even just spending an hour a week on YouTube to see what the best players do can be so helpful. You might be watching how they hit certain shots, where they hit to and what they do after this, or maybe their footwork and positioning on the court. There's so much you can learn that you can apply to your own game, but of course, don't forget to enjoy watching too.
So they were our 7 biggest mistakes we've made throughout our own badminton careers and what we've learned from them. And we hope by sharing these, we might help you avoid making similar mistakes in your own badminton careers.
Exactly right. And if you're sat there not wanting to make the mistake of not watching enough badminton, then you might enjoy some of the videos in our beginner playlist here, or our advanced playlist here. And lastly, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you on another video very soon.